very different scenario right now than macro cells. So with that communication, we're focused on 5G, small cell, and really looking at Open RAN, open radio access networks, which is standardizing the communications in those networks. So I look at it as, some of us were back around in the 80s, where IP networks were a lot more proprietary, and now to where they're open, interoperable. So you're going to see that same transition with the Open RAN, of interoperability on that front, which is going to be necessary because the number of carriers and private LTE networks that are going to take place as you move into that 5G area is going to be necessary. So they're focusing on that area, and then CBRS also. So that offers a whole new spectrum in the public area that allows private networks with LTE quality to exist. So that's an area where we've kind of been first to market with some products there, and we're seeing now, in particular, like on the Air Force side, had a dominant section on requesting information on deployment with CBRS and that public band spectrum. It's free bandwidth, it's free spectrum, free bandwidth. So I expect a lot of the agencies are going to take advantage of that.
Absolutely, absolutely, as that becomes more prevalent across the community. Vince, how about at CISA? I'm sure there's a lot of priorities over there. Can you lay out sort of what the top line looks like for the next 1 or 2 years?
Sure. As you mentioned, a lot of priorities. The ecosystem's only getting more complex, and we want to make sure we have that seamless flow of information across the federal, state, local, territorial, and tribal partners and stakeholders. Probably the priorities that we're looking at really goes into alignment with what Laurie was talking about. That integration of voice, data, and video, now that we're where we are with communications, and what we've seen over the pandemic of how useful all those mediums are. So as far as priorities, we'll look at the implementation of our National Emergency Communications Plan. That's that 5-year strategic roadmap to advance interoperability across the federal, state, local, and territorial and tribal partners in public safety. With that, when you have a good plan, another area that we're looking at is measuring that plan. How do you put in performance, adapting performance measures to make sure that we are moving the needle as it comes to emergency communications?